Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app,
NXT Podcast,
so you don't miss a show. Or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE
Find all of your
Podcast.
NXT
Until then,
news,
we'll
recaps,
see you
and analysis
next
right
time.
here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you for the NXT review for 7/16. And looks like we're getting ready for the Great American Bash coming up. And they open the show with this hot new team that they have kind of gotten in the crossover from TNA, which I'll discuss a little bit later on here. But yeah, it seems that they've robbed the cradle of the best little tag team out there. I mean, these guys are really good, but and I like them. You know, they're very innovative, you know, and everything. But the tallest one was Myron. They had another member in their stable, and he's not with them as of now. But yeah, they're all under 5'10". So as far as making that roster and looking good and getting that main push, not sure about it, but we can enjoy everything that we've got now, because these guys are they're pulling new stuff out, whatever. But let's go ahead and get into it, because they are going against the Gallus boys. And look, Gallus comes out, they start off and they give the Rascalz, or MSK, or whatever you want to call them, they give them a little promo spot coming out, you know, kind of introducing themselves, doing their little wave under their chin, and then they bring Gallus out and then let him, you know, spout a few things off. And of course, Wolfgang says that I don't like anybody from TNA. And so the fight begins. Yeah, they get out there and the match is good. But I will have to say, in some points, you know, I say stuff about the ladies that are doing a little too much gymnastics into my wrestling, and in some ways this is borderline. It's good, it's fun, I'm sure live it's enjoyable, whatever, but just sometimes they can really push it. There's a triple drop kick they do. Now, yes, the optics are really good, but they have to count it down, and they're having to adjust their arms and do everything, and it's like, well, yeah, if I can get somebody to stand there for that long, I can do that too. You know, it's just, you know, it's just, anyway, the match is good. These guys are I'm sure, going to take everything by storm for a while. Wesley, I could definitely see why they chose him out of this group at first, but these other guys are good. And these moves are going to be done by other people on down the road. These are the guys that are going to be getting hopefully credit for some of these moves on down the road. That what is it? It's Trey and Zach. Yeah, Zach Wentz and Trey Miguel. But I mean, you know, and of course Wesley. You know, or Maurer. And Wesley. But yeah, man. As I said, the match is good. The Gallus has got to let them kind of get their cues on a few things to pull this off. They give them the big highlight. David gets the win on Goliath in this one, but it should build an interesting story on down the road. I mean, I really do. I think it'll do really good, because during this match, they bring out, I don't know why, but Joe Hendry, because people believe in him and they like to do that little wave thing. But he comes out to do a little bit of color commentary. And of course, he comes out with the all-American guy look. And, doing more research last week, I find out he is Scottish. So an all-American look from Scotland. When Gallus does a little promo with them later, the way they fold their arms, he does the same, bringing the characteristic from countrymen. So, I've heard that they're really, really high on Joe Hendry. They believe apparently Shawn Michaels and the creative team there at NXT believe in Joe Hendry. So we're going to be getting force-fed him a lot. And so far, so good. We will see, how that goes on down the road. But, the Rascalz get the win in that. Then you've got a Chase U promo, getting the hype up for the main event, which is Obafemi, the champ, going against Duke Hudson, getting his first real big debut main event that I can believe, and then you've got, then we have got our weekly report from Ava, the all-knowing and all-wise, doing a little spot with Ethan Page where he's claiming it's a unsafe workplace because of people like, Aura Menta coming at him. And, then, of course, Aura appears dressed a little odd. I guess he is down in Florida, keeping the sun off his neck there. But he comes in, cuts a little one, and Ethan says, hey, look, I'm going to give a title defense tonight, but it's going to be to a worthy competitor. And he thinks he's got an easy one in Dante Chin, the Singapore native, the giant from Singapore. So we've got that coming up a little later. Then they do a little spot with the Great American Bash this week or this year is going to be, 2 weeks. So they are, consecutively. So they cut a little promo, and then, of course, Booker T's got to add in that he is 7-1 in Great American Bashes, and he was going against some formidable talent back in those days. But then you've got Roxanne Perez getting her time on the stick, and she comes out and does a C job, kind of whining. She's, fighting. She's not fighting opponents now. She's fighting history books. She lays all the line down that somebody put down there. She practiced it really good. She brings up the queen, Charlotte Flair, that she's going to break her records and Bayley's and all the past greats. But she's a little pissed off, Roxanne is, that all the talks about all the TNA crossover talent. The new influx, the raid of the cupboard. It's... If you wanted to know who is the best on the independent circuit in the last year or two, turn into TNA right now. Turn into NXT right now. Because they've got TNA talent. They've got, they've brought in the creme de la creme, Roxanne and Thea are going to have a match. They get into it. Have a couple words. The interview's not that great. Thea does okay. But actually the girls get into it afterwards, and they try to do a submission on each other. And each one's trying to get like an arm bar or a crossface, and they're flip-flopping back. But it looked actually pretty good. So that was actually the best that they had right there during that spot. Then you got our North American champ, the ladies' North American champ, Laney Jordan, doing a little interview, and she's kind of interrupted slightly by Wendy Choo, which she ain't Choo no more, man. But she's got a Barbie without a head. So, yeah, that's the way they do it nowadays. These wacky kids, they, you give somebody a Barbie without a head, and then they put the head on it later, and I guess that means you're friends. But yeah, then they do some more Brooks Jensen, which is leading up to a match that's coming up. But yeah, they're really playing that angle with Brooks, so they're doing a little promo, getting ready for that, and then they do one quick one before the match. They do a Lola Vice promo. She's out there, and then of course JC, Jane, and Valen and Jasmine have got to come out, and there's words. Even that, they keep saying rookie, which Jasmine's a rookie too, so they let that get out there. And then it sets up a match with Lola and Valen Henry a little bit later on. And, then they've got the match of the young OG, Javon Evans, going against that crazy, kooky guy there, Brooks Jensen, with Josh Briggs over his shoulder there, making sure that he stays in line, because Josh Briggs put his neck out there for him, and they're not letting anybody forget about that angle in this match or in this whole writing here. So, and, they try to make Brooks, they try to make Josh look all tough with the biker look, but they make Brooks kind of look like he's kind of overgrown a little bit. But actually, when I was growing up, that looked like half of the 80s country and some of the pop stars out there. So he would have been popular in the mid-'80s with the look. But yeah, he gets out there, and maybe he doesn't look like you would think he would. They're gonna do a cleanup on him at another time, but now they're doing the best they can to make him look a little rough. And he's in there with Bouncy, the young OG that will not let you down so far in his matches. Every one of his matches have been good, and even in this one, they don't make anybody look bad, because Sean Spears comes out. He's just watching, and Jensen's at a point to where he can. He just did a move on OG, and he slides under, and he goes out and he tells Briggs, which this is going to be key a little later on. Not tonight, but a little later on in the storyline, because I have a feeling Sean Spears is getting ready to take over the tutelage of Mr. Jensen. Nobody's told me that. I'm just, it's of course right in front of our face. But anyway, they, Briggs comes out there. There's a little distraction. And OG, which is young OG, which is Bouncy. What's he do? He bounces over the top rope, throws him back in, and he bounces off the top rope and does a move. And, well, Jensen's head bounces off the mat, and he gets pinned. A 1, 2, 3. So, we'll see where that goes from here. Then they've got an interesting little promo spot, a little angle they're building there with Tony D and the family. Tony D, and he's got Charlie Dempsey in there, another TNA crossover. He's all sweaty. He's coming in there all like he just came from working out in a turtleneck, or not in a turtleneck, but in a golf shirt there, or whatever you'd call it. And they should have given him another shirt there. But anyway, he comes out there, and he's asking Tony about taking some, a witness if somebody saw something. He's asking for some advice. And Tony's like, well, you can explain it. And he goes, well, it's not really a guy. It's a girl. And Tony's like, hey, I wash my hands of this. I know nothing. And he goes away. He knows nothing. And then they let Dante Chin on the stick, and the giant from Singapore. And look, man, he comes out there and cuts a good promo. He's got the look, he's got the size, he's got the moves. He is a future star in this promotion, and probably going to the next level. Well, let's see here. As for asking for advice, like earlier, Trick Williams, whoop that Trick. He comes out, cuts a promo with Dragunov, and Dragunov is telling him, hey, giving him a little advice, how that losing the belt can change things, and just going through all that. So but whoop that Trick. Trick's not, fulfilled with that advice. He needs a little more. So he kind of looks around the locker room and he sees Pete Dunne over there sitting down, and Pete sees him. He calls him and he goes, hey, Pete, in this situation, what would you, and Pete just abruptly says, rookie or kid or whatever, figure it out. That's it. That's the advice from old Pete Dunne. There was no fingers involved in that promo. But yeah, then they go to Ethan Page's first title defense, and it's going to be from the aforementioned Dante Chin, the Singapore giant. And they give him, he comes out second, and they give him the big entrance, Dante Chin. And you know why I'm saying that, I'm subtitling my mouth, so it looks funny. But anyway, Ethan Page is thinking this is going to be an ease, and, the one thing I can say about Ethan Page, he doesn't do anything really flashy. He just does everything he does good. And he's good on the mic. So, he's got the size, he's got the look. That whatever his finish move is, it's the razor's edge. It's always going to be the razor's edge. Just you might as well give tribute to Mr. Scott Hall. One of the best of all time to ever lace him up. He had the size, the look, and if you don't know who Scott Hall, well, if you don't know him other than the WWF days or the WWE days, go back to his matches in my territory in the Memphis and Georgia and in Oklahoma, man. The Bob Watts days, but absolutely. But anyway, Dante Chin. He puts on a good match, the match itself, there you go. They're again in the writing. I kind of like it. They, kind of like in Lola Vice's match with Roxanne, in Heatwave. She tried a spinning back fist, missed, hit the pole. Roxanne took advantage of it, wins the match. Typical. I like it, nothing fancy. It is the way it is. But nobody really looks bad, kind of gives you an excuse to come back. Dante Chin slips on a rope, and Ethan Page jumps on it, nails him, and bam. That's it. But then you're going to have Aura come out, and Aura Mensa jumps on the champ, does a few moves, and does his air pin where he pins him and counts himself as the winner with no referee, of course, just does the air count. But hey, he's got something to say. He's got a on-camera pin for 3 seconds, but not official. And not that it's going to bother Ethan Page, and he'll let you know in a promo he cuts later on, leaving, they catch him, and he goes, "This ain't bothering me, man. This doesn't bother me at all." So you know where they're going with that one. And then when they've got old Duke Hudson of Chase U, they've got Duke cutting a promo, and you know what? His promo skills are, I ain't gonna, pretty good, I gotta say. He cuts a good promo, and then they've got Gallus. They're ticked off. All right, they're ticked off. And, and who shows up but Joe Hendry? And he's telling him, that's when he does his Scottish routine, crossing his arms that way, and he tells him that, like he said at ringside, they should have believed in Joe Hendry. So, and then right after that, they catch Izzy Dame waiting to come on, and they, of course, have Izzy, the giant of the women, coming out to go against Tatum Paxley, which is, man, just getting better and better. And her character, her whatever you want to say, she's got it down. Good match, back and forth. You're not sure what's gonna happen, and then you've got the appearance of Wendy Choo, but it ain't Choo no more. But yeah, man, Choo comes out, gives her the Barbie's head after Tatum Paxley pulls off the win. They've got the Barbie together. We've got something going on there, and then we're gonna have a match with Lola Vice and JC Jane and Jasmine, of course, is out there. And this is a good match because JC Jane can go, and of course, Lola has her wrist wrapped up from her match with Roxanne, of course, that I mentioned earlier. So, she goes directly after that. Does really good, but then Miss Lola brings in those machine gun kicks, does some good moves. Bam gets not a quick win, but a win faster than you would think. Then, of course, she's going to get jumped by Valen, and so you've got everybody out there, Jazz, and well, here comes Sol Ruka and Carmen Petrovich. So they come out. So they run the ladies out of there, and that's going to lead up to a 6-person mixed tag team where you got Out the Mud, you got OTM, got Jada Parker in there going against Me Chin and the OC. And, the OC's looking for a little payback because they kind of got taken to the woodshed a little bit by OTM last week. So, they kind of get it in this match. The match is good. OC's always going to put out a good match. But, Out the Mud is getting better. Their power moves, everything is just getting better and better. And the feud between Jada Parker and Me Chin carries on, and that looks good, but Jada needs more time. Me Chin is ready. Me Chin is just good, and they're going to get the win in this Me Chin and OC, but OTM look good. They're getting better and better. But then they go back to the storyline with Charlie Dempsey. Somebody saw something they did, and it happened to be a lady, and now the lady shows up and says she wants to be a part of the No Quarter Catch crew. And, of course, the guys say no, but she persists, and we will see where that takes us on down the road. But then you've got the North American Championship against Duke Hudson, 6'5", against at like 270 against Oba Femi, like 6'6", but 320 or so. You know, and look, these guys weigh their weight. Duke may be 260, but Oba is around the 300 mark. He's a legit 300. His legs are freaking like like the state of Texas. But man, this is a pretty good match in itself, because the one thing I like about Duke is it seems it's kind of like what I was talking about with the little Rascalz earlier. Not the Rascalz earlier. They've got some really good moves, and when you see somebody the size of Duke doing some of these moves, and that's what we're going to get in the future, is guys the size of Duke Hudson doing some of these moves that we thought were never capable before by people that size. And it's just the caliber of the people and the training and everything that we're getting. But this match in itself is good. They go back and forth. Oba sells really good in this match, and Duke is makes the match look good. You think he's got a couple of times, but then old Oba puts not through the desk, but puts Duke on the desk, and then puts a couple moves, a power bomb off the top rope, or does his finishing move, and then bam, Oba Femi retains the title. Then you're thinking, all right, that's the end of the show. But as they're leaving, old Briggs and Jensen, they're talking, and Jensen calls Briggs out. And Briggs says, hey, man, I whooped the crap out of you last time, so why are you wanting to do this? But then Jensen, says, not only do I want to do it, I want a no DQ. So that is how they end this week's NXT. So, setting up next week's show, good matches on it, everything that you could ask for. So a B show. I can't say anything else about that. But now I do want to bring up a point on the TNA crossover, or the NXT crossover, however you want to put that. Now, with all of these stars that are coming over, you've got so much, and you've got now, it's been brought to my attention and from my understanding that Joe Hendry is getting ready to get a major push. They've already given Ethan Page this. Sean Spears is in the middle of a storyline. Say what you will, but Charlie Dempsey is in the middle of a storyline. Now you've got the Rascalz. The fingerprint that TNA is leaving is one thing, but the fingerprint that Triple H is leaving is a whole another. They mention levels. There's levels to things. Well, Triple H is now playing at another level. He is out there, and he's pretty much saying that he's trying to give the best content to the viewer. And if somebody's on that independent circuit that's drawing, he's going to give them a chance in NXT to see. Now, I don't foresee anybody going straight over to the main roster coming in, but there's even Mustafa talk out there. There's just, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. And I've had some friends ask me, what's going on with the popularity? I don't see a Hogan or a Undertaker out of this group. What's going on? And it's the overall product. It used to be hard to put in 2 and 3 hour shows, to write a show like that. Now they've got the talent that they can put a 3 hour show together all day long. So, nothing but benefits for us, the viewers. But I tell you what, before I talk too much, I'm going to get on off here, guys, so you know how I end it every week. If you can, get out there and help a shelter. Do what you can. Help how you can. Just where you can. And, spay and neuter, guys. Do your part, folks. And so this is Memphis Mark. And you know what, guys? Yeah, I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.